Good day. My name is Valery Isaaks. I am one of the founding members and a member of the organizing committee of the annual Nama Cultural Festival that takes place every year at the last weekend of May. Since the inception of the festival, I have been tasked to lead the cultural village. And it is at the cultural village that we instill the cultural values. And every year we have made sure that we have a theme around which we are teaching the people, so that when you leave the cultural festival, at least you have something of the cultural values and what the Nama people are doing, how they are doing it, why they are doing it, and so on. So for the past 6 years that we have had the cultural festival, every year we had a theme around which we had some discussions, and if we have to play it out, done it that way at the cultural village. This year we at the cultural village, in particular, where I'm heading, since last year these themes are following up, following each other. So what we did is, last year we had a discussion around the death, how death is being treated, how we have to behave when you heard the news and so on, the funeral and the mourning period of a widow as well as a widower. And this year, in the norms and culture of the Nama people, we usually have a fire that is lit when we hear the news of someone passing on. And it is done just at one house. And the people are gathering around that fire. Food is prepared at that fire. But after the funeral, the mourning period of the death, and the funeral, there is a ritual that we are doing. And that is to extinguish the fire, to take out the ashes. That is how we call it. And with the start of the festival, the Thursday afternoon, we already put up the fire, and that fire should be alive for the duration of the death, until after the funeral, until it is removed. So we have kept this fire alive since Thursday, and this afternoon we will do the second part of the ritual. Because on the first one, with the putting up of the fire, we told the people what you should do around that fire and what is not allowed at that fire. So for this afternoon, we'll then have to do the ceremony again, where we practically show the people how this is being done. The taking out of the ashes, or the removing of the ashes of that fire on which all these things were prepared. You see, when the people hear about the festival, the vibe is always there. The one biggest challenge that we usually have is the challenge of money. That is the biggest challenge. But we also believe that the numbers are growing with every festival. Last year it was a bit colder, and we had some comments from the people about the date changes. But we did not change the date. And we thank God that the challenge of the cold weather that we were facing for the past 2 years has also been overcome, and that we could have a nice weather during the festival, where we could dance the night away without hiding and looking for some warm places to sit, but rather to sit around the fire and having the bonfire talks and so on. Now the guys are saying, just sit, you usually work with horses, so it's not an issue. That is what I'm laughing at. They want me to be calm. You see, one of the biggest things is usually the language barrier. Yeah. Since this is a Nama festival, the expectation from the Nama people is to only speak Nama. But then we have to have these people also to understand the language, which means that we have to, from time to time, change the language from Afrikaans, English, in order to embrace everyone. And I've realized that they appreciate the fact that we are inclusive in especially the use of the language. It is just a little bit not so fine when you have to do some jokes. It's nicer in your language than in doing it in another language. Yeah. So that is the one thing. But I think that, and it is not the first time that many of the South Africans and the Botswana people has attended this festival. Some of them are regulars. We are like family. So when we see each other, we know how you came. But for some, like the people from the Northwest University, it is their first time here. And we had to make sure. It's just that we still have a lot to build on in order to be hospitable towards these people, in making sure that they have something to eat whenever they want to, maybe having something provided for them or prepared just for them, because they are our guests. And this is one thing we are still lacking, that we still have to work on. In fact, I was surprised to see a lot of youth last night at the cultural village. This year we said the youth will have their own bonfire, where they will talk about their own issues, how they can be involved in the festival, how they can contribute towards the growth in our culture and the preserving thereof. But surprisingly, there were a lot of youth last night here, which made me wonder what happened to their fire. Because this was the eldest fire. That is what we thought. But I think the talks that we are sharing here are also interesting, informative, and they learn a lot from what we are doing here, even though it seems like they are not that interested. Yes. I just want to thank the media people. You've been visible. And the one good thing that I've realized is that last night, NBC gave us an hour of live broadcast where we just showcased our own things and we were just natural, without interviews and being intact, but just be us. And that is the one compliment I want to give to the national broadcaster. And I'm grateful for the exposure that we had last night. And all in all, I'm in fact grateful for the growth this year at the village compared to what we had last year. There is an immense growth, even in the number of people that came from abroad to attend. And also looking at the social media platforms, how people have been engaged and been glued to the screens in order to be part of the festival, even though they are not here in person. Yeah, and that's the one good thing I'm glad of.